When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the 4th season for the NASCAR Class C Maconi Fixed Series. This evening we're excited to bring you top split action for the weekly strength of field race for the virtual Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you all types of action from different styles of racing. Bring the top split of this series, Road to Pro, as well as Fast Fridays. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince, alongside the booth for tonight's coverage. Producers tonight as we work in picture-in-picture broadcasting style for both first and second split action for the Maconi Fixed Series. We start things off with you, Braden, as tonight we're not a driver favorite from the racing style for the previous builds. In the past, pack style racing, but intense fun style racing with multiple groups. While multiple groups are expected to come into play today, the style expect to be much more different. With that in mind, what do you expect for the trucks here in Joliet tonight?
Dad, you mentioned the previous build. There was a fan favorite in the previous build. 3 weeks ago, we completely scrapped what we had, and now you have to completely change the way to race, and the way to drive the corner, the way to drive off the corner, and the way to get through the corner. So definitely a bit of a different truck than these guys have been used to in seasons past, and I think it'll make it a little bit more difficult to see that pack racing that you're so used to here at Chicagoland, but nonetheless, I think it'll be just as exciting.
And Shane, so far, it's been an interesting season when you talk about things amongst some of the front runners, whether it's been the schedule, whether it's been the track itself, whether it's been, of course, the points. Drivers like Logan Clampett, who are amongst those in the RTP action, leading the way in points entering this week with Eddie Kerner, Adam Garza, Malik Ray, PJ Evans amongst the top 5. It's been fairly competitive so far, Shane, this season. What are you expecting in terms of competitiveness when it comes to Chicagoland tonight?
Well, like Brayton said, this place is known for really tight racing, especially in the trucks. But with this new build, these guys are going to be thrown right, because this is the first race of the new week at Chicagoland. So they're being thrown to the wolves here. So I'm interested to see how much different it drives compared to that last truck build.
Now remember, we are using a different format that we tested out last week. We will be in the midst of testing here today with that in mind. The new style coverage demonstrates not only the incredible talent that can be showcased here across the fields, but it also shows off the coverage of what it will look like for RTP's second round of the eNASCAR qualifying series this upcoming Thursday. Tonight we're covering both top and second splits for the Maconi C Fixed Series. We'll be alternating the coverage between the two races here tonight. The currently featured broadcast shown will be in the main big picture Throughout tonight's action, you'll also see in parts of tonight in the bottom corner the other broadcast. Coverage will switch here during the cautions or whenever a notable action starts to pop up in the opposite split. So that will in turn give you, the fans and the viewers, a chance to see what's happening at the best of the best in both of these races. If you're interested in seeing what the other feed does look like for second split, we do have a video-only feed available tonight. That's on the Maconi Entertainment YouTube channel that will show the second race. They're in the midst of their final minute and 30 seconds or so of their qualifying session for reference right now. Same being said just about here for tonight, Braden, I'll get your barometer of what we expect in second split, for example. What are your thoughts on what we may see from that split compared to first split?
Yeah, 100%. Looking back at last week, you got to take some notes. And some, we're at different track, completely different track than we were at last week. But some things are the same. This is the first time slot of the race week of season 3 here, of week 3 for these guys. So this is their first official race at Chicagoland in the Maconi C Fixed Series. And typically you use your first couple races as a learning curve, and then you might have some guys a little more squirrely that they don't really know the borderline on how comfortable they're going to get with their truck. And last week it was very apparent. You had guys that absolutely getting out of line, getting way too loosey-goosey, overstepping the boundaries quite a bit. And I think we're going to see that once again here tonight. Chicagoland is very much a track where you have to be on the edge if you want to be fast. And these guys don't have whole weeks of practice, or not whole weeks, but at least 10, 15 races some have by Wednesday night when we go to broadcast Wednesday night. So I feel like it's definitely going to be a survival of the fittest race for sure in both splits.
Down to about the final 20 seconds or so for the qualifying sessions to work with here in this one, Shane. Your thoughts here as we're about to get ready for the starting grids. What do you expect? What is kind of going to the mind from what you've kept an eye on now for the drivers using the different lines of qualifying?
Well, I'll say this much about what we might see tonight, and that's that the first few weeks of this new season, strategy has come into play a lot more than I was expecting. Sometimes you'll see these races go totally green, and then it comes down to tire management. But some of these races have been won, or good finishes have been acquired on pit road. So I'm really interested to see what what that'll be like tonight.
Let's take a look at the starting grids. We have first and second split qualifying complete. We'll start things off with how things are looking for top split. Benjamin White setting the pole tonight, setting it by a couple hundreds over Vinicius Perez. Then it's Zachary Phillips and Wade Rookard, the top 4. Dylan Rowe starts in the 5th spot. Ian Cope, we've seen flashes of him last week in 6th. Then it's Gary Cronenwet. He will start on the next page in 7th. Ronnie, your top 10 starting spots. Cole Pocket, Chris Sherborg on Brandon Alphin, your top 10, Shane.
And we got Jacob Schneider in the 11th spot, Scott Clemens Baker in the 12th spot. As we move on to 13th, Keaton Jones, Lucas Lyons, and Maximilian Bianco in 15th with Dylan Ackert 16th. June White, hoping for some luck in the month of June maybe, in 17th spot. Tristan Johnson in the 18th position. And then rounding out the top 20, Anthony Bozzella and Matthew Lee.
That's a look how the top 20 looks. Smallwood, Farmer, Kyle Lawrence, Short, Ross Brockman, the last of those drivers in top split. Second split, by the way, they're getting ready for their grading procedure right now. Talking about how they will start for tonight. Tyler Stooksbury set the pole time there over Thomas Szymanski, John Ashbury, Adrian Schumacher, Wesley Triplett, David Duke, a driver we've seen in top split Braden several times, is in second split tonight. Bradway, Jeremy Thompson, Steve Chester, and Joseph Stewart. How those drivers in top 10 look. Those drivers are in the bottom of your screen now. Top split already rolling on their pace laps as they got a little bit quicker to get rolling for the starting grid here tonight. Who are you keeping an eye on towards the back of your respective group in second split tonight?
Yeah, looking back, I got Logan Corbin rolling off 19th. We've seen Corbin a little bit, not too often, but maybe some flashes here and there. Elected not to qualify, but going to be rolling off there in 19th. So Logan Corbin in the number 14 truck. Only half the field, about that 15 trucks out of 23 here in second split took a time. So you have 8 guys that elected to not qualify here at Chicagoland in second split.
Tonight's race distance, 40 laps for both of these splits. That gives them about 60 miles to get the job done here tonight. Your keys to victory, Shane, real quickly as Top Split gets ready to roll.
Well, stay out of trouble. We see we got the weather conditions here, 83 degrees, air temperature, track temps at 112. There's a little bit of wind here as well. I think to win this thing, you just got to keep the nose clean. We've seen how fragile these trucks are now since the update. Here we go, Justin.
Green, green, green. We're underway in Top Split as they try and make their way cleanly to turn 1 for the first time today.
Really good start there by Morris on the outside, that 3 truck. They're going to be door to door coming off turn 2.
All tires being shouted over the radio in Top Split because it is 3 wide there. A lot of drivers having some struggles on the cold tires for the bumps in turn 3. All while with the bottom quarter of your screen, they get ready to start second split. Caution flag is out in Top Split. Lucas lines around to the back. Second split is underway. So 1 goes stop and start, 1 goes full start, Braden.
Speaking of stop and start, Thomas is Mansky in second. He's blinking already, maintaining that middle lane though, but cold tires trouble in that second split. Adrian Schumacher from 4th around, and they are stacking them up in both splits here.
And stacking up pretty big. They didn't even make it as long as they did in the first split, Shane.
No, they're still wrecking here. I think that is heavy damage. I believe that's the number 11 there. I can't even really read the door number on that thing anymore. I'm sure that's a meatball there.
I can confirm that's Adrian Schumacher, who's running 4th. They went 3 wide. Whoever was 2nd or 3rd bobbled there, and stacked up, 3rd or 4th and 5th, and that allowed them to go 3 wide, and someone didn't have the room they thought they did. So the CEO already bobbling in the back. That 11 with Schumacher, 19 down there. That's John Asbury, and he's gonna get split 3 wide middle. They just didn't quite have the room to drive in the middle there. That's Wesley Triplet. So ironically, Triplet, taking it 3 wide.
So split 2 having multiple different incidents pop up for their first caution. Top Split had their first caution in turns 3 and 4. Cold tires, the shout and calling action over the radio just as this started to set foot.
Well, he got some help there.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of give and take there.
I think the 48 might have been backing up on those colder tires that you mentioned, and they just, I'm not sure who that was behind him, got into him there, but maybe just wasn't ready for him to slow up that much.
If the guys in second split had been watching the broadcast, they would know cold tires is an issue.
Yeah, this, especially with the side force differential, is a much different truck compared to the full out. Even then, it was still a loose truck, Braden, to race in the pack on the opening lap in the fixed set beforehand, especially in the open side. Now it's even more treacherous. It takes an extra lap or so for those tires to get kicked up into full temperature to where, or rather temperature at least, where you can go the throttle input you expect for this track.
Yeah, you really don't have a lot of off-throttle time, especially no braking time really. So you want to maximize your corner, and able to maximize your corner speed, you got to have the most grip. There's going to be a period there, 3 to 5-ish laps after a run where it just feels great. You're going to almost be hammered down the whole corner, wrap that white line. You feel like Superman going around the corner. I mean, basically you shred almost no time going through the corner, going into the corner. But you got to get to that optimal temperature. You got to get to the optimal point first. And if you're not there, once you're past it, you can kind of lift a little bit, but going into on cold tires, it's like you're basically driving on ice.
And before we get restarted here in the top split, I want to point out, Justin, you asked me at the start of the race what it was going to take to get to victory lane here, and I mentioned how fragile these trucks are, how you got to keep your nose clean. Well, now that 11 truck is Schumacher in second split, he doesn't have a nose anymore, so maybe Braden's right, they probably should have been tuned in here.
Yeah, so all that's wild. Top Split is ready to get back going right now, already 2x2. Just 1 truck incident. Lucas Lyons getting spun around. Well, should I say 2 truck, 1 with major damage. It's Raz in control, Ben White in second. Let's go to Top Split because the green flag rolls there. Second split about to get rolling themselves here. We're underway in both splits. Just about to be able to get rolling. A clean restart off through turns 1 and 2 right now. Oh, that's wow. Phillips wraps the bottom, and drivers like Ponkin try and make the top work in the same pack.
We're going to be side by side here down the backstretch. This is for second. This is why our leader has gotten on the loud pedal and away. And kind of similar to something we saw at Nashville last week. Guys just kind of sitting beside people that are side by side waiting for their opportunity to pounce, maybe letting them burn their stuff up while they just kind of sit back and relax for a little bit.
And Braden, I want to touch upon that thought too of Nashville comparison, as there was a lot of conversation. Hold on 1 second, a slip up from Phillips. Nearly slid around, second split underway for their respective run, by the way. There was a lot of comparisons when chatting about this with some people just yesterday, Braden. Clean Air expected to be king with this package. It's not your same Chicagoland from pre-package where there was little to no side force in the truck.
Oh, I mean, that was the name of the game last time at any biggest track. Like Michigan was really bad, Chicagoland, Charlotte. Dirty Air was a massive tool to your advantage, your disadvantage, depending where you're at on track. And it's basically multiplied, I feel like, talking to drivers this week as you see them really play that Dirty Air game there in both splits. And both splits now the longest run of the night so far.
It's not even said so much as, let's run the wall after 10 laps. Because multi-groove racing was pretty significant even in qualifying tonight. Some drivers got some of the top times by running top in 1 and 2 especially. It's the question, when do people move up? Second split right now, Braden, on your screens. They are moving up already, not so much top split.
Yeah, a couple guys are kind of getting stacked up right on board with Vinicius Dean here, running the top, ripping the lip, and to see all the guys in front of him doing the exact same thing. So Dean gonna move down the bottom. Gets actually a little bump by Joseph Stewart, but I mean, they are all over the track 2 or 3 wide here, trying to find grip and maybe just try and find some clean air.
Guards like Phillips, meanwhile, Shane in top split. They've moved up right now, and now it's time to give some space. Culp didn't get it covered up top side for the block off.
Yeah, these guys have been, the bottom is just not working right now. And I wanted to sing some praises for Wade Rookert. He's in that 11 truck right behind these guys, that pink and yellow truck with the blue roof on it. He had a massive run on these guys, and he took it not quite 3 wide, but I thought for sure that he was going to clear that Sweet Tarts truck of Ian Culp. And the bottom just died out, and he lost all his momentum, and now he's lost a couple more spots because of that. But these guys are definitely starting to surge around. Here he comes again. We'll see if he makes it work this time.
His line job was one of the key words that was described to me as a possibility for passing from the inside here this week. The top, a strong tool to defend for drivers on corner exit. Potentially we'll see that a lot here this week. Top split, by the way, Morales running away with clean air by half a second over Ben White. Side by side, the 11 getting loose. Rookard having to shuffle behind Culp. Phillips lost the top line as well. He can shuffle.
Rookard definitely shuffled, getting moved around there and just trying to find some clean air, I feel like. But a driver I want to give a shout out. I don't think a driver we've ever seen actually in top split action, or as far as the broadcast goes, it's Gary Cronenwet. I've had the honor of racing against Mr. Cronenwet in real life in the figure 8 scene. So figure 8 driver from Michigan. I know he competes up there at Flat Rock and Toledo quite a bit, street stocks, 8 miles, and a little bit of everything. I think he actually did an ARCA test maybe a couple years ago. So Gary Cronenwet there, number 15 truck. Starting to the top 10, falling back a little bit, but he's a great driver.
He's doing a solid job so far. He has lost spots though. Originally started 7th all the way back in about 12th position. He's one of the already several recommended to the top line, trying to battle with Clemens Baker for the time being, it seems. So now here comes the conversation point that was similar to that of the 9th version of Chicagoland, Shane. How do you pass when everyone runs top, all while up on the bottom screen, contact amongst the leaders?
About to say, what's that thought?
Now, what did trip that got shoved in the wall? I remember tripped it to one that went 3 wide to bring out the lap 1 wreck and Tyler Stokesbury around, but then the man sitting in the catbird seat, Thomas and Mansky, took advantage of both of those guys having contact, and he's driving away with the lead now.
Something I want to point out here, though, that's interesting to me is tire wear is definitely a factor. We've seen some guys starting to kind of lose it. Oh, well, here we go. Phillips around.
Caution flag is out in top split. He gets turned around on the back straightaway into turn 3. So our first incident of the race, just like that. Or second, I should say. But this is why getting to the top is important. Some people don't like to lift.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if maybe he came up on the 11. It was the 11 that he got turned off the nose of. I don't know who's really at fault there. Might have just been a racing incident. Second split still well under green there in the bottom right. See the 2 truck.
That's Tyler Stokesbury just took the lead back from Zemansky. And you mentioned tire fall off, Shane. They're only about 2/10 slower than what their fastest laps were, which actually came about lap 3 and 4. And some of their fastest laps are over a 10th quicker than their qualifying time. So tires starting to pick up a little bit here, and fall off isn't as bad as I don't think anyone expected. But they're catching that traffic of Adrian Schumacher. Remember that number 11 truck missing the front bumper. He is up by the wall trying to get out of the way as much as he can here.
So pit stop party in top split, but I think it's less about the tire wear, Shane. It's more so the slip angle possibly. Depending on how much you burn up your tires, that will see you go back, or you get too tight and have to get off the throttle.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if that might have been... Oh, got interesting issue on pit road there with the 12 trying to get in his box. But I can't help but wonder if that might be a part of the reason the 6 truck went around. You know, you talked about the slip up. Maybe he just got sideways off the corner and the closing rate was just too much. The time right to get by him without running into him. As they're all filing off pit road there now.
So currently second split sees Stokesbury still in control up at the very front despite some of the contact earlier. Battle is on still for the 3rd position though. It's getting pretty aggressive from some drivers, but that truck on screen, the 18 machine in terms of paint scheme here, wants the top 3 right now. We talked about one of the drivers we've seen do well before, Shane Posey. He's got good speed, Braden. We've seen him a couple times in the league scene do the same thing. Just methodically make his way up here.
Yeah, the driver out of Georgia is now looking to the inside of Wesley Triplett, trying to get back up to Tyler Stokesbury if he can help it. But Szymanski's starting to fall back a little bit. I think he burns tires up, trying to get to the lead a little bit, bobble up for second. Szymanski also starting to bobble, so we're starting to see a lot more bobbles, about the same, I guess, time and place that first split was starting to have them. But we've gone a couple of laps longer, and I think that's really starting to show on the rear tires here.
They were both really loose there off turn 2, but the 18 gets away as the winner of that situation.
Meanwhile, top split is starting to double up, by the way. So coming up to halfway in second split. Right now they are outpacing top split with how the race is going on. Take a look at Jason Gradden towards the back of the field meanwhile. In a lot of these cases, it's battles throughout the entire field, but if you lose the pack, it's very difficult because the draft is still somewhat substantially important for the straightaways here in this one, Braden.
They've got a pack of 4 or 5 trucks behind them trying to get together and try to go and catch these guys, but they saw the gap there just under a second. That's for 15th and 16th. Brandon Puentes is the next truck, and you see him 2, 3 wide. Guys absolutely ripping the lips, classic Chicagoland style. And I don't think I'm really that worried about dirty air because some of these guys are just sitting it in the corner, getting right behind someone and just hammer down, and they're using the looseness of their truck to their advantage.
Meanwhile, top split back underway. Is able to get a great launch. All wow, up to second. Ben White. This battle is on for third spot on back. Look who has made their way. I was about to say, look who's made their way through. Caution
in the wall. Yep, there's a few trucks around here. Oh, and still going. Big hit by the 16.
And the Zella, I believe, going through the grass. Big damage on that 98 truck. And man, Toxic can't get their stuff together, can they, guys?
That 98, I'm surprised he doesn't have more damage because he spun down the track in front of like 3 people.
Open also got collected for Meatball. That all started cold tires again. Scott Clemens Baker spun around in front of the entire pack, and it sparks the first major incident of the day, and they're not even halfway in top split.
And there was a battle for the lead there in second split. The 18 really falling off now. He got the wall battling with Tyler there for the lead.
Yeah, that's Shane Posey we talked about a second ago. Gonna go 3 wide though. He's trying to get back up in that battle for the lead. That's Ty T. Smith is outside Thomas Zemansky. He's gonna make some bold moves as Posey going sliding line right behind him. But Zemansky in that Ford truck down the bottom. You see the replay though and top split. That's whew.
So watch 98 here.
Chris
Came down.
Schweibert.
Sorry, Justin.
I was about to say Schweibert also picked a meatball from this. Yeah. Oh, wow, a second slide right in front of that. That made it even worse.
So that was almost 2 small wrecks, and had they been by themselves, that would have been okay. But the fact to put them together side by side on a date, it's got everyone involved in a one big date group, and they didn't like being in that date group.
Jacob Snyder was the one with the massive slide, by the way. So, top split is under caution. Meanwhile, second split, John Ashbury, one of those involved in the earlier instance, having some moments right now with just under 17 to go in split number 2. What happened here?
I mean, he's got some already heavy damage on his truck, and not 100% sure. He's still on the lead lap. So, I mean, maybe he's got slipped up a little bit and got some extra damage I didn't need. I mean, he's one of the guys that we mentioned involved in that first wreck, and he's still going. Schumacher's still going a lap or 2 down with some heavy damage, and the other truck involved in that was the trip, but he's in the battle for the lead. As they're staggered 3, almost 4 wide for a second. They're going through turn 3 and 4. The leader currently Tyler Stokesbury, but not for long.
They are putting on a great show here in second split. And I mean, almost 7 cars or trucks under a blanket here.
Yeah, that's even with all the contact, with all the squabbling. Stokesbury's just been the quickest out of this pack, essentially, so far. So what's it going to take to get by him without putting him in the wall again, or slide jobbing him, or slide jobbing yourself into the wall here, Braden?
I think he's running a really clean line. He's getting up there by the wall and entering kind of not really in diamond line, but able to get the arch off and get the drive off and really play that dirty air game. Thomas Zemansky though in that Ford truck in line right behind him in that red and white truck, and here comes Wesley Triplet on the bottom though.
Triplet trying to wrap the bottom. Stokesbury trying to use the Kyle Larson line. Slide up for second. And a bit of a tight squeeze, but some give and take there in split 2 to clear. Coming to 13 laps to go. And
3 wide, I think, here for second, Justin. Oh, almost.
They're trying it, though. They're trying it on the slide. But still, Triplet able to keep it stuck up there on the top side as Stokesbury plays the wall game. This is almost running like NIS competition a couple years ago when here comes the slide for Triplet, though. Can he slide job for the lead? No.
Not quite. He's gonna get more chances at this, but he can't keep killing his momentum like that. Every time, he can't just take every opportunity he gets. Got to be a little more patient with it, because that allows these guys to get beside him, and then he's got to worry about them before he can take another crack at Stokesbury.
We see the pack of 7 trucks. They're all within a second of the leader, Tyler Stokesbury. So, I mean, if one guy that was the triplet in second makes a mistake, I mean, he's got 6 guys that are more than happy to go by him for second.
Oh, that's wild. Top split just went back underway to green. Let's check on their restart. Jacob Snyder's been struggling today, Shane. A multiple-time series champion for this fixed level. So far, not much done. And just as we look away, the caution flag is out in split 2.
That was John Asbury. We're talking about him as we were coming to split 2. Single car spins, he got loose on his own, and around he went. He was below the white line, but iRacing threw a caution regardless. He gets loose on his own. Number 19, you see it there, John Asbury.
Oh my goodness, that was tight there with Lee and Kolb. Kolb's back to his inside though. Lee tried to pull the slider.
The reason for the caution trigger. That's in second split, by the way, in the bottom corner. You've seen him already coming out of the grass. Slowly creeps back on. And then locks it up and stops just at the edge of the racing surface.
Well, that worked out pretty good for him, I guess. I mean, got a caution out of it. I don't know if he really necessarily wanted it.
So all that has seen second split regroup. Top split has seen Morez hold on defensively for now. Tires for second split. The fresher tires already being put to work in split 2. Keeping an eye on Matthew T. Lee. He's that green, red, and black number 9 truck. He's had to come from the very back from 20th spot to get up here.
I see him there. Running in the middle, gets a little bit loose, it looks like. I think at this point, 15, 16 laps to go, it's go time for these guys. You've been cautioned the first entire half of the race. You haven't really been able to do much racing, so you guys are excited to get going at it.
Absolutely, and he has been wheeling that thing. He's got a mirror full of that Safe Light 11 truck behind him, that Corey Heim paint of Schneider. But my goodness, Lee has been really wheeling that thing on the edge of these corners, slideways, as they call them.
Still electing to ride up the top side. Morez able to run the bottom, and that's one of the benefits of the clean air too, Shane, is you can control whatever line you want to, and the tire save line here at Chicagoland, many consider is run the bottom, both sides. You run the top if you're trying to play defense usually.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, like Brayton said, it's go time. Looking around this racetrack in the corners, there's not many on that bottom line. They're just all about in a freight train around the outside of this place, and it's going to take a lot to get by the leader. I don't really think it matters which split. The leader has just had such an advantage with that clean air. They, like you said, they can really manipulate just whatever lane they want to drive in. It's theirs.
The inside, Lee has better speed on the inside line, top side. Colt, he's stayed up there just about the entire time so far. Able to get the peak ahead and able to get the poke to clear on by, still to hold on to third. Down to just 13 laps to work with. And this is going to be extremely difficult, I think, even for Lee with the speed. You almost need to just make contact, which is not optimal. Caution, someone has made contact, and it's June White who is going the wrong way, slipping and sliding down the backstretch.
Well, I've always said the top line around here is the quickest way sometimes, but I don't think that's what I meant.
June White contact with Lucas Lyons, who, well, the replay I think will speak a lot of terms. That's the second incident for the 48 truck on screen today.
It's not usually a good accolade to hear.
Let's take a look. 3 wide offset off the corner after some bumping and running in front.
Well.
Oh, that's not gonna work out. Yeah,
Somebody down there.
That won't work out a total of 0% of the time. Is that how many times that will work out?
Meatball flight from Lucas Lyons from that one.
I believe it.
So that ends up happening from the full throttling, so to speak, coming around to 11 to go. Everyone coming down to pit again. And they're going to be tight on tire sets in theory, because there's just, of course, the 2 sets in the pits. Does anybody take 2? We only took sets less than 10, 15 laps ago.
Like I said,
remember 2. Oh, go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, like I said earlier at the start of the show, we've seen a lot of these races get won on strategy so far this season.
And some too to remember, none of these guys have a fast compare. 0 fast compares in the Maconi C Fixed Series. So if you get torn up, catastrophic damage or minor damage, gonna be in the pits for a short time or a long time, but definitely not a fun time.
A lot of 2-tire calls.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of people come out definitely higher than where they entered pit road.
The leader, Morez, took 2 tires. Colt took 2 tires as well in that split. Top 5 on track did, in fact. But second split is about to go green, coming to 7 laps to go. Stokesbury, triplet, Szymanski, Duke, your top 4. Stokesbury's led much of the way so far. Can the 2 truck hold on and win the second split race here tonight? Let's find out as the pace car drops off. Green, green, green. 7 to go in split 2.
That Stokesbury started on the pole, and like you mentioned, led a lot of this one. It's Triplet and Duke trying to get that high line rolling, and this is getting pretty chaotic pretty quick. Everyone on the same tire strap, 4 tires all around.
Triplet needs to try and hang with him the best he can, get clear of that second place truck, and then try and set him up for the finish, because he's running out of time, coming back to 6 to go, all over the tailgate of Stokesbury right now.
Stokesbury electing to stay to the top side of the racetrack. Here comes Szymanski. Couldn't clear from the bottom. Triplet taking it 3 wide. Up the middle goes David Duke for the first time. He's in the conversation for the race lead.
David Duke in that 78 truck, no contact there with Szymanski, and everyone's able to keep it going straight. We're coming to 5 laps to go this time by, and Stokesbury is trying to stick his way into the victory lane if he can help it.
It's a great save there by that 54 truck, the Bubba Wallace paint, the 4 sim numbers. Szymanski, I don't know how he saved that. 5 to go.
They have saved his race there with him still top 5. Down to the final stretch for split 2. Szymanski having a battle for 4th instead. But for the race leaders, Duke and Triplet fighting for 2nd. Duke trying to wrap the bottom yet again. Not able to get a full move yet. Seems like top line, the defensive line, really coming into play here to close it out. Coming to 4 laps to go.
Now the top line's the defensive line, the bomb's aggressive, and David Duke is the aggressor, absolutely running the white line, making the most of it, and he's not making up a whole lot of time, though.
Not enough to be able to make a pass, yes, unless he finds a ton here. Nearly to the wall is Triplet. Slide job for Duke. He slides, he blocks. Here comes Triplet.
Hey, but see, he's going to have the momentum now because he just totally flipped the script right there on Triplet there, or Duke.
Triplet trying to slide back in from David Duke. Oh man, these two are getting their boxing gloves ready. They're getting ready to roll.
That's exactly what Stokesbury wants. A squeeze this time by Triplet on Duke. Duke tries to clear himself. No. Despite what the truck says, no for the pass.
Wesley Triplet is laughing on the radio. He's going to put himself in the wall, laughing too hard. It's kind of funny. The back bumper of Wesley Triplet says that rattled my sphincter, and definitely his sphincter has been rattled by David Duke.
Oh, he's dropping back big time now. He just went right back to 5th.
Like I said, he was literally laughing on the radio, so I think he laughed his way into the wall.
Yeah, not the best of moments, but
that's a new intimidation tactic I've never really seen before. Make them laugh, and they'll put in the fence. Oh my goodness.
Szymanski nearly putting some in the fence, coming out the white flag in 2nd split. Green flag is out with 3 wide in top split. They're currently taking 8 laps to go. But the battle is on for the race win in 2nd split. They're expecting the white flag here, as right now it's Stokesbury who leads in the 2nd split. Top split caution.
That's going to play perfectly in the hands of 2nd split. David Duke sliding right behind Stokesbury, coming off a turn 2 for the final time. Try and get a run. He's got a little bit of a run, but Stokesbury maintaining that advantage.
One more chance for Duke. Does he go for the lunge? He tries it. He tries it. Can he slide up and clear himself? No, he puts Stokesbury in the wall. Here comes Stokesbury. He tries by Duke. A drive inside. A crash. What a slam. In the end, it's Boatwell who steals it.
John Boutwell from 18th is going to take home the victory. 2 tires in the grass, makes the pass and seals the deal. Stokesbury is not happy and gets slammed. Oh man, after the fact.
Deservedly so. He should not be happy about that at all. Oh my goodness, that was a Hail Mary if I've ever seen one, and it ruined both of their races.
This may go to the not top 10 with how that looks. Stokesbury dominates the race. Duke goes for the slider through 3 and 4 and says, I'm just going to send it. I'm the big Duke. And then craziness for the win.
There's Boutwell. I mean, see it at the line. And
yeah, he tried to look the 18th to try and still win it. Ends up on his lid. Man, what a finish.
That's absolutely stunning. Let's try this one more time.
I mean, I was sure the 78 was gonna lift here eventually because we're like, all right, well, it's not gonna stick, but
it did it. Right?
He committed.
She Stokesbury, the desperation sets in. That's Wesley Triplet finishing Stokesbury off, and oh man, I got full hand and full toes and full fingers, and I don't think I can even count how many times Stokesbury flipped there.
Oh my goodness. That is heartbreaking. And look, the winning truck can't even make it back around. He's destroyed too.
Well, that was a race and a half in 2nd split. Top split, by the way, This is why we're under caution there. Watch Keaton Jones, 4 wide into the corner.
Oh man, that's we are not at Sonoma. We are not turning right here.
You think that was cold tires again there, guys?
I think that was just cold tires and a little bit of 210 steering. That was something.
Let's talk about the results real quickly for second split while we can. That it's Boutwell who gets it. Stooksbury triple at the top 3. Stooksbury losing by a 10th after leading most of the way. Ty Smith, Szymanski, Thompson, Redman, Puntez, Chester, Bradway, your top 10 in split 2, Braden.
That couple other guys here to see the rest of the field, or we're going to go down here and see if we can get the rest of the field. But Jordan Stanley, 11th, Kurt Barnett, Joseph Stewart, Posey, Sean Hopkins, Mike Toomer. That's going to be your top 16. And David Duke, after that Hail Mary send, brings it home 17th. That's heartbreaking. I mean, he could have finished top 2, basically guaranteed, and can bring home 17th. Then Jason Grattan, Philip Schumacher in that first lap wreck makes it back on the lead lap. And then John Asbury, Vinicius Dean, and Logan Corbin are going to be their DNFs for the night.
That's all top to bottom at split 2's running order. Split 1, they're getting ready for a 4-lap shootout after the last caution involved Jones and Dylan Ackard. Ackard already has said that actually injured his wrist. That's how hard the impact was on the direct drive.
Oh, I don't doubt it. That was vicious. Now, let's see. Are we going to see a send here as well in the top split?
Keep an eye on this with 4 laps to go. Culp is on the outside. Morez holding on to the inside. Down to the final 3 3/3 laps to go. Benjamin White has the better run inside. 3 wide behind.
It's going to be 3 wide somewhere. Oh my goodness, big slide. I think he got the 22 there at Johnson. He saves it. It's still side by side for second.
Yeah, I think we need one more bright colored truck in the top 10 because they're definitely filling up the majority of the top 10, pink and blue and green all around. But they're just trying to figure it out. Who wants this final top 5 spot here?
Oh, 22. That's going to be hard to save. He's going to come back up here. I think he'll make it okay.
We stay green. Oh, wow. Moraz still holds on up front. David Farmer going backwards on the colder tires. All that's while others like the 11 going up. Coming up to the white flag next time around. 2 laps to go, this time at the stripe. Some big time moves from Maximilian Bianco to go from the back all the way to the top 5 for one of the first times all day.
So now I'm thinking if I'm Colt, the 3rd place truck there, that Sweet Tarts truck, blue and pink, I'm thinking this is my last chance. I've got to get second if I want to set up the leader. So he's got a tall task. But White, on the other hand, well, we saw what happened. Second split.
He took some notes and he's just about to say, watch this.
A lot more running bottom and top coming to the white flag this time by in split 1. Morales holding on up front by under 2/10. Ben White is already going sliders. Some say
well.
What?
Wow.
That was Rowe on a bold decision for the race lead, though. Ben White's in slide job position in the 1 truck. Block off for Morez. Does Morez get the bumper? No, he doesn't. Vincent Morez holds on. He'll go to the apron to block and take the win while doing so at Chicagoland.
And on all 4 tires, no less.
Now, one of these finishes were not like the other.
Yeah, he took the bottom there. And that really put into perspective where the Ford truck there in second split made his biggest mistake.
Yet that was a clean finish in split 1. Split 2, mind you, you have trucks that finished on no tires. But both races had a constant. You get clean air. As long as you don't get bumped and ran into the wall, you were able to hold on usually.
Man, I also got to say, that last lap accident, I'm sure we'll go back and look at it with the 5 truck. He got turned down to the bottom. It looked like on his own doing. Slid right up into the I believe it was the 11 truck or 14 truck. It's kind of hard to tell, but that was an interesting call he made to just try and save it.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I'd hate to be the guy with a direct drive wheel because that looked like it hurt.
Let's take the step aside. When we come back, we'll look through the top split results and discuss things. You're watching Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the Maconi Fixed Series from Chicagoland.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yep.
Welcome back to the Tale of Two Finishes here on Maconi Entertainment. A clean one in top split, a fireworks show in second split here from Chicagoland. Let's take a look at how top split closed out here, as in the very end, Vinces Moraes held on in front of the Brazilian. Wins the race by about near the same margin as the other race in second split. Much different result, though, in terms of the fireworks show. Ben White in second. Culp, Bianco, Lee, your top 5. Rookard, Snyder, Short, Clements, Baker, Brockman, your top 10, Shane.
Yeah, moving on down to the 11th position here. Cole Pauken, Zachary Phillips, Tristan Johnson, who I believe is the one we saw go for a slide there on the last lap. Lucas Lyons, June White, round out the top 15. Schweibert, 16th row. Farmer, who was the one that got slid up into in 18th. Keaton Jones and Acker, 19th, 20th, respectively.
21st went to Alf and DNF, along with Smallwood, Cronin, Wet, and Bazilla. We did have some fireworks to close out top split, though. We did see Dylan Rowe from, I guess you would say, the front row of the pavement, from the apron all the way to the wall. We'll see if we can break that down. We do have that replay here up, Brayden, as what happened with the 5.
Yeah, it was interesting to see. Goes way down low, had maybe a little bit of help, and then comes right up the track. And at this point, you're hanging on for dear life. There's nothing you can do whatsoever. Maybe try and keep it down low, and that's a tough one to see. I mean, when you see truck coming up like that too, not only is the guy coming up kind of at the mercy of the track and others around him, but there's nothing else you can do. There's no reaction you can train or try to predict that can avoid that.
Exactly. I mean, it's so easy to look at that and say, well, couldn't he have just slammed the brakes? So it is so hard to make this split-second decision. We can sit here and slow it down for hours and say things he could have done. Doesn't really make it very easy in the moment, though.
You compare that to second split's finish, and, well, you could tell there are at least several space shuttles getting ready to launch because of the contact there.
Oh, you could just tweet this out of context entirely, and I think I could tell enough of the story.
The best part is not one but 2 trucks are off the ground here.
Man, and the winning truck, I mean, they're bringing that thing back to the shop on a record too. I mean,
if you said that these guys finished in top 3 here, top 4, I don't think anyone would believe you.
I mean, you could say that this picture isn't even from Chicagoland looking at it.
Yeah, that was a wild finish once again, and you don't blame the two for fighting as hard as he did after, getting put in the wall on the slide job. But it puts up one of the most firework-filled finishes of the year. So, overall, your thoughts tonight, Braden, on the races through and through?
Well, I mentioned last week, or like last week, there's going to be a race of attrition, and that proved very true in both splits. Second split, though, definitely had a little bit more fireworks than the top split did.
What about you, Shane?
Chicagoland is such an amazing racetrack. These were two of the best races I think I've seen while I've been commentating here. That second split finish was an instant classic, maybe for the wrong reasons for some of those people involved. But gosh, this place just puts on an amazing show. No matter what car, no matter what time of day, it's perfect.
And remember, we do this again in terms of at least the top split side on Wednesday. We'll see how things go on iRacing social media platforms to keep an eye on the S.O.F race on Wednesday night, 7:15 p.m. the start time for that coverage Eastern. But next week, it's worth noting, we also go road course racing in about a week's time, Braden. Mid-Ohio is next on that docket as well.
Yep, going to the middle of nowhere, also known as Ohio. It may or may not exist, but that's a track I have experience with. I've spotted that in real life, and Arca ran there last week in the real life world, and that's some fireworks of their own. I'm sure next week's going to be no different.
That'll be June the 23rd through Canada Day, in fact, in terms that slightly off on the dates, in fact. It is June 25th tomorrow, after all. It's going to be Canada Day all the way through until the start of July the 8th, it should say, for Mid-Ohio. But on that note, a lot to say when it comes to today. Thanks to our race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as to our viewers for tuning in. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Shane Mundy, as well, Braden Laster in the booth. Our producers tonight, DJ Line, Christian Hill. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's action, and we hope you stay tuned to our whole social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for bringing this work and bringing this racing in turn to you tonight. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time when we're on iRacing social media platforms from Chicagoland this Wednesday.
You want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.